So on today's show, we got the digital comic turned print comic, Batman Beyond Unlimited.
And then we're heading over to the land of Eternia for Masters of the Universe, Origins of He-Man #1.
And a video game tie-in, which is a new one for us, with Injustice #1. Wandering off the beaten track this week.
Oh, how we are. It was a very slow week in comics, so...
There were a lot of bad comics, and I didn't really want to do a negative episode, so we thought we'd try some new things.
Read some books we've never read before.
One of those books being Batman Beyond Unlimited, which is a collection of short comics of Superman Beyond, Justice League Beyond, and Batman Beyond.
Yes.
And each issue was a digital comic. Each one is a digital series, and now they're bringing them out in print, collecting them like that, like I just said, with a couple of short stories in each, which are all one larger story. Like the one that just came out is issue 13. The Batman Beyond story still isn't done.
Ah, okay.
So they're really long, really kind of outreaching stories. I've read all of them.
I have read 2 of them.
So you're going to tell me first what, just as a kind of, I mean, did they hook you? Are you going to read more? What did you think of them?
Well, I really liked the Batman Beyond story, and I liked how similar it was to the cartoon show of the early 2000s. The art style in it's very similar to what I remember from the show.
Interestingly, just to cut in, because this is essentially a comic based on a TV series, not the other way around, as we get all the other Batman cartoons we've seen are based on comics, whereas this, the original art, original concept, and now the comic falls into place. So that kind of highlights what you said. Yeah,
so I did like that. I think if you haven't watched the show, you might struggle a little bit to go, who is this guy? What is happening?
Yeah, there's
why
no
is Bruce Wayne old? Which is a bit unusual for a #1, but that's a small minor complaint. I found the art to be a little bit mediocre to start with. Like, it was very similar to the cartoon show, but I didn't really like it that much. I just found it a bit too plain for one of these web comics, Unlike Legends of the Dark Knight, that's artistic style was constantly changing, they were innovating and trying something new. It seemed like they were playing it safe. There's nothing wrong with safe, it's just not my bag. I like something that goes beyond the cool.
They're trying to make it look a lot like the TV show.
And they really did succeed.
I mean, because you will have read the Justice League Beyond stuff, and that is more interesting. There is a more kind of detailed art style, and it's a bit different.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I really did like the characters of the Justice League Beyond. I liked Superman, the kind of old man Superman, and the new Green Lantern. Wasn't so sure on Warhawk, and the blatant Wonder Woman of the future that wasn't but was. I didn't really like those 2 characters, but like the Justice League, it's an ever-changing roster, so I'm sure at some point it'll get swapped out. But I did enjoy it. I don't know if I will keep reading it. I'll probably read a few more, just see if I'm enjoying it enough to make it a regular pickup. But it's okay.
I mean, first of all, they read better digitally than they do. I mean, I bought the first, as I was going back reading them all for this, I thought, I've read this? And I actually have the first issue. I bought it way back when. Do you know what? The Justice League one I'm not so fussed on. I like parts of it. I really like the characters. What they do throughout in the Justice League one is they do origin stories, and they get guest artists in. Fiona Staples does one.
Hello.
And it's really, really good. And I like that, but the Batman Beyond one is great. Still not done, I think, or it's not on the DC App Store. Like, I've read as far as I can go. I feel like there's one issue left somewhere that I haven't read. I don't know if it's collected somewhere else, but my favorite one is the Superman one, which is really surprising. I really love the art in that. I really love how it operates as a story. And they're all just kind of lighthearted, casual fun.
Yeah.
And they're worth a read if you've got nothing else.
Now, towards later on in the book series, there's the cover for, I think it's issue 12, where Batman Beyond's being choked with the chain by one of the Joker gang. Don't know if you know it, and it's quite a scratchy art style almost. Is the covers indicative of what can be found in the books later on?
They'll be indicative of one of them.
Okay.
So it'll either be a Batman Beyond cover or a Superman Beyond cover.
Yeah.
Like for example,
But
the latest cover, the one with Lobo, is a Superman. Lobo's hired to.
What's on the cover? What's in the book? Is it that same
It'll be
art
one
style?
of the stories.
Is it the same art style? That's my question. Or is it?
I'm not sure. I think it is.
Okay, yeah, cool. That's what I want to know. I will probably catch up to there because that's what made me want us to review this book on the show is the inclusion of Lobo, and I love me some Lobo. So
yeah, he's in basically two-part thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that. I had fun with it, and I think if you like Batman Beyond, which I do, I think that character's really cool. Then you'll have fun with it. I mean, just brief thing in case you don't know, Batman Beyond, basically, Batman of the future, it's basically a mix between Spider-Man and Iron Man. There's like a suit of Iron Man and personality of Spider-Man, basically. The next book
is Masters of the Universe Origins, He-Man, #1. Now, I don't know about yourself. I have never watched the cartoon show. I only know He-Man, like I know of He-Man, I get the concept of He-Man, but I only know him from parodies and that one very funny video online. He-Man, what's going on? So that's my only exposure of He-Man. So I'm quite interested to see what you thought of this. As I said, it's the origins of He-Man, Prince Adam, and how he came to be He-Man.
He-Man is very gay. Like, no, but not. He is like, and not even like he just seems so camp. And even in the TV, and I don't know if the TV show is informing that, but he just seems like a power of Grayskull. I get that. I don't know.
Why have you given him a lisp? He-Man's Valley by the power of Grayskull.
No, I don't know. Maybe the video is kind of affecting me. But I was just reading it. I was like, this is gay. No, but no, I didn't enjoy it. It just felt so 80s. Is that what He-Man was kind of about?
Yeah.
Like, it just really, the mythology of it and just, the power sword. And I mean, and it was a really simplistic comic. Like, it had real simple layouts. It had a slight timey-wimey plot that we've seen a million times before in comics. And really, there's nothing in this to me. It just seemed like camp 80s. It by no means was offensive, but it was just like, okay, well, that happened for my eyes.
That's fair enough. I do agree with you that it's a very basic comic. I found the story to be very expositional. Everyone's saying their motives out loud, and there's one moment in it where she's saying, you're the grandson of the King of Grayskull, you're the son of the King of Eternia, and you're the nephew of, well, I shouldn't tell you just yet. And it's like, well, I think you mean Skeletor, like, because that's what we're going for here, isn't it? I don't. So I found things like that a bit off, and yeah, the writing of the characters wasn't very good. Personally, I really like the art style in this book. I thought the drawings of Skeletor were really good, and I like the use of different colours.
Vein to Ribick's art, except nowhere near as good. I felt.
Yeah, that kind of fantasy element. It's.
I feel like Thor is the character that He-Man wants to be.
I think Conan the Barbarian is probably the character he wants to be. But yeah, so I'd say that one's probably a miss from the pair of us. It did have some nice art style, but at the end of the day, I think it is just a kind of cheap cash in on a much beloved character that we have no relation to. I mean, give us SWAT Cats. Give us a SWAT Cats comic and I'll go out and buy that. I'm the only person who read SWAT Cats watched it. Just damn it.
The last couple. So you told me this week, why don't we read this Injustice video game tie-in comic? And I was like, really? You want to read a video game tie-in comic? I didn't have that reaction reading it, admittedly, so I went full into it. First of all, before I tell you what I think, how did you find the comic that you'd suggested for us to read?
I found it really, really good. I thought I don't really want to explain the premise too much. It's a three-parter. It's very short. It includes the majority of the Justice League.
Again, we read it online in which form it is a three-parter, but
Yes.
we're talking about it because once again they collected this comic into a print comic, and it's just a single one-shot.
It opens with intrigue, continues with this kind of detective story. I've got to say, there's something really cool about seeing Superman asking Batman for help. Not asking, but like pleading for help. There's something, because he knows he's the greatest detective. He knows how to find people and things like that. But I found it just a really good read. Artistically, I thought the first half was stronger than the second half of the book, but gripping ending. And I'm a bit gutted that this isn't going to continue in book form and it's going to continue in the game, because I want to find out what happens next. But I guess that's the intention of it, and I'll be buying the game now, that's for sure.
I would have been buying the game anyway, but I mean,
DC
generally I think this is a really solid story that they've told. It's really interesting and engaging. The art at the beginning, Jeremy Rapak, I believe, I loved. I was reading it thinking, oh my god, why isn't this my Justice League book? I want this as my Justice League book. And then, for some reason, I don't know why they couldn't get one guy to draw the whole story as short as it was, but the other two, I did not like at all. Like, it was really distracting, and it kind of ruined the experience for me. So that's, I don't want to say any more than that.
Distracting. I get what you mean. Like, the drawing of the Joker in the later part was nowhere near to scratch in the first part.
In a short story like that, you can't get one artist to do the whole thing.
It does seem a bit weird.
But I love the art at the beginning. Didn't like it at the end. The story's solid and engaging.
It's how you do a tie-in comic.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Well, exception of get one artist to do it.
Yeah.
So lovely. That's all from us this week. The winner of last week's giveaway.
Yep.
You know who that is.
Yep. The greatest username we've seen so far was She Called Me Big Daddy Comics.
Check your inbox and you will have won a copy of Wolverine and the X-Men number 24.
Yes, you will. And if you want a chance to win a comic this week, we're keeping it a surprise this week.
Yeah.
We're
gonna flick through our box and see what we've got, but we'll give you something exciting. Comment down below and you can win this week's mystery prize.
Indeed you can.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. It's @ComicBookShow1. On Wednesday, we have our continuing quest to find the greatest superhero of all time.
And on Friday, we will be reviewing the month of January.
Yeah, we'll see you then. He-Man is very gay